House Democrats launching sweeping investigations into nearly every facet of President Trump's life, both before and after the inauguration. House Judiciary Chair Jerry Nadler spearheading much of that effort. His counterpart of the panel is the ranking member, our headliner today, Georgia Republican Doug Collins. Sir, how you doing? And good morning to you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Some are encouraging caution on this. Others are saying, let's go for it. What do you think they do?
They're going to choose the path of going forward with no idea where they're going. They remind me of a teenager who just got in front of and behind the wheel of a car, not really sure, but they know the gas pedal works, and that's what they're doing. Eventually, they're going to have to figure out that the brake actually works too. It's not helpful to anything we're going through right now. And what they're saying is they have a conclusions of what they want, and now they're having to go find their facts to get there.
And as far as introducing articles of impeachment and the move that we are seeing in that direction on the left, here's Congresswoman Tlaib on that yesterday. Number 4.
Remember, this is setting a precedent. If we don't hold impeachment proceedings today, start them today and hold him accountable to following the United States Constitution, think about that. This is not going to be the last CEO that runs for President of the United States. This is not going to be the last person that tries to get away with this. And what does that say about the most powerful, most important most important position in the world?
How will this work out for them, Congressman?
I think it's going to work out badly because the American people are seeing that they're just going to the extremes. So what's really interesting, 2 points of what she just said is number one, we have to start impeachment now. I'm glad to see she has Mr. Steyer's talking points because that's exactly what he's been saying since November of 2016. But then she also, if you notice what there was also an attack on anybody who's been a successful business person because she said somebody else may get there. And that's just a subtle attack, on anyone that doesn't fit their mold of what public service ought to look like. And when we understand what's going on here, we understand the vast political pressure. Look, all of their leadership, including Chairman Nadler, even Ms. Pelosi and others, have said we don't have information enough for the impeachment process. We don't know of anything, but yet you have members undoubtedly who have this vast amount of knowledge on things that even their leadership don't have. It's not going to play well. The American people see what's going on. They're just overplaying their hand as usual, and it's going to play in badly. We're just going to keep focusing on the truth.
Her exact words, this is not going to be the last CEO that runs for President of the United States, as you point out there. On Michael Cohen, there was news on him today. It broke overnight. Did he lie before that committee 8 days ago?
It sure seems that way, and that's why my colleagues Jim Jordan and Mark Meadows referred that for perjury. This is a man who is just probably from an old background of mine from being an attorney, is sometimes your best bet is just to be quiet. Sometimes your best bet to not continually bring up things that in the end are contradiction your own statements. Your best bet is instead of to try and either make a name for yourself, do something before you go to jail, is sometimes you just need to be quiet. What Michael Cohen is doing is just trying to spread as much pain as he possibly can because he obviously doesn't understand his own situation, and he's just flashing out at the world. And this is unfortunate to see this actually play out the way it is.
So Lanny Davis, his attorney, he was sitting behind Michael Cohen last week. He ushered him through Congress, right, before that hearing. He put out a long statement. This is just part of it now, okay? Prior to Michael Cohen's decision to leave the Joint Defense Group, he writes, and tell the truth, on July 2, 2018, Michael was open to the ongoing dangling of a possible pardon by Trump representatives privately and in the media. During that time period, he directed his attorney to explore possibilities of a pardon. I've gone through that statement. I don't hear Lanny Davis say this is not true. Do you?
No, I do not. This is the problem that Michael Cohen needed. Michael Cohen needed an attorney, not a publicity agent. He had a publicity agent in Lanny Davis who was trying to recreate his own fame and career by marching this through and working with the Democrats to bring him forward. Mr. Cohen needed an actual attorney. Obviously, he was let down by this. Maybe he needs to check into that.
That's his call.
Yeah, I mean, it is amazing here. Think about it. This is an attorney who should be there helping you, but yet at the same very point in time, he doesn't deny what's happening. He doesn't step forward and say, think about what you're saying. And it just seems like, again, Lanny Davis orchestrated a media event instead of actually being the attorney that he claimed to be. This is how far out of field this has gotten when you understand that they've lost track of what they're trying to do because they're so desperate to find something to stick on this president that they're willing to try anything possible. American people see through that, and frankly, Democrats that I privately talk to are becoming more and more concerned that they've lost complete messaging. I was just listening to an interview being done up here on the Hill, and there were Democrat complaining about the fact that nobody's talking about the fact that they passed a very bad gun bill, or that they're working on destroying our election system. They're upset because they're having to deal with all this other stuff. So this is a bad place for them.
Meanwhile, a fiery hearing on Capitol Hill yesterday where we saw the Homeland Security Secretary Kirstjen Nielsen testifying before Congress, really describing a situation that she says is only getting worse, on pace for 1 million illegal border crossings this year. She laid that out. SOT number 6, here she is describing just how bad it's gotten at our southern border.
Today's migrant flows have created a humanitarian catastrophe. In one study, more than 30% of women reported sexual assault along the way, and 70% of all migrants reported experiencing violence.
Did she make any ground making the administration's case in that hearing room yesterday, Congressman?
I believe she did. When you start seeing headlines on the Washington Post, the New York Times, not conservative groups that are saying the exact same thing, that this border crisis is escalating, I find it hard to believe that there's any United States senator who would vote to approve this resolution of disapproval for building our border wall. When the case is being made that there is an emergency at the border, the president is making that case. Secretary Nielsen made that case yesterday, and for them to actually say there's not a crisis, or they try to focus the attention on it might being not constitutional, which is not true. It is by statute he can do this. They're doing the American people a disservice. She's making the case. People are understanding. People back home in my district and people I talk to understand that you can't have an open border and not experience the consequences of that open border.
Sir, we really appreciate your time today. Thanks for coming on, and we'll speak again, okay?
I look forward to that. Y'all have a great day.
Thanks for being our headliner. You bet. You too.
Thanks.